guys, welcome back to the TCC network. Today I'm going to show you how to make a coconut cake for spring. It's a pretty basic recipe. It actually comes from Ina Garten, but we are going to put our own spin on it here at the TCC network with some cowberry eggs and Easter decor. It should be fun, and even if you don't celebrate Easter, it's a great cake to make for spring parties coming up. And I can't wait to jump right into it. It's real simple, but here we go. Okay, so now we're gonna start the recipe with my two favorite ingredients, butter and sugar. So here I have 3 sticks of butter, and we are gonna throw them in the mixer, and make sure you have the paddle attachment for the butter. And we're gonna beat it for a solid 5 minutes, guys. Smells like, butter reminds me of movie theater popcorn. So whenever I smell butter, I instantly think of the movies, which is one of my favorite places to go. Maybe that's why I like it so much. Who knows? Now grab your measuring cup and your sugar. You're just gonna really wanna fill that baby up. Level it off with your finger. Oh, I made a little bit of a mess. What's new? Baking with Aubrey is baking in a mess. That's the answer to that. There's 1 cup, and let's get a second cup. Let's make sure it's all the way full, just like that. Okay, so now the ingredients are in the mixer. Again, with the paddle attachment, we're going to whip it good for 5 minutes and get this nice and creamy. So I'm just gonna put it on 2 and just watch it whip. You're probably gonna have to take a spatula and go in there and just help it out a little bit and make sure that all the butter and sugar is getting properly whipped together, because pieces will kind of fly out towards the top of the bowl. And let your KitchenAid do the work for you. Relax and throw out your butter stick wrappers. A piece of butter just went flying out of the spatula. So while our butter and sugar was mixing up, I cracked all 5 eggs that were at room temperature. I put them into this little white bowl, and we're gonna add them slowly, one at a time, into the mixture while it's beating. So we're just gonna turn this baby back on. We got our eggs, one at a time. Okay, whoop. There goes another one. Let it mix up. I always feel like I bake on my tippy toes because I want to see what's going on, so you might notice that a little. What's that called when you're a ballerina, Tessa? Starts
Releve.
with an L. Leve.
Releve.
Releve. Add an egg. All 5 eggs are now in there, and we'll move on to our next step while those whip together. Okay, so next we have our baking soda, baking powder, and salt, and you're just gonna shift that right in there. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Whoop. And keep that mixing on medium to low. Then we're gonna go in with flour and our milk. We're gonna need 3 cups of flour, and we're gonna do flour and then add some milk, flour, add some milk, flour, milk. And then that will wrap it up for our batter. And I would love to hear from you guys what your family put in your Easter eggs if you did Easter egg hunts. Our family did mostly chocolate. Sometimes you'd get maybe a $5 bill, and it was happy times when you got some cash money. But I've heard some people do like fortunes and Easter eggs and toys and all bunch of fun stuff. So I'd be interested to hear from you all what you did. Now again, we're doing 1 cup of flour and then some milk, so we're just gonna add 1/3 of the milk like that. Go back in with another cup of flour. I typically don't wear a lot of yellow, but I feel like Easter in April and May, I just have to. There's something about the season that is just so bright and fun, even though it's not that pretty still in New England, like maybe the grass is just starting to get green, that I feel like yellow really brings out the season. That makes sense. We are done with the mixer. We're gonna let that whip together for a little bit, and then we're gonna put in the coconut. Now it's looking photogenic. Now it looks Instagram worthy. Before, not so much. So we had to get assistant director, filmmaker, film editor, Tessa in here to help me get this bowl out. But I'm gonna try this batter. This is my favorite part. So good. You can really, really taste the almond extract. This is really good batter though. I mean, I put it up there. My favorite batter of all time though is my mom's cheesecake. Okay, now you're gonna add your shredded coconut, and this is really gonna give that needed texture. So let's sprinkle that coconut in. Now, whenever you say the word coconut, I mean, all I can think of is Moana when they're like, remember the coconuts, the trunk and leaves. I know I just butchered those lyrics, but I mean, that is what I think of when you're like, coconut. My head goes straight to remember the coconuts. Okay, mix it evenly in, and now we're gonna get ready to put this batter into the oven. So now you're gonna take your batter and you're gonna fill it into 2 cake pans, 2 round ones. We just panned and greased them up. And you're just gonna slowly fill half the batter into one, and then half the batter into the other one. I mean, this batter is really heavy, so use your strongest arms. It might not be elegant, but it will work. Just get it all in there, scrape the sides really well. Really important though to smooth it out. So then you go into that spatula and smooth it out because you don't want a lopsided cake. Make sure it's nice and flat. And into the oven they go at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 50 minutes. Both cakes. Don't forget one. Okay, so we have the cakes in the oven baking at 350 for 50 minutes, and we're gonna get straight to the frosting. I don't even know how to start explaining this, but basically you got 2 sticks of butter and 2 blocks of cream cheese. So this is gonna be some wicked heavy frosting, but I think you'll like it. So let's start by just throwing in our butter. I already unwrapped it to make this hopefully easy for me. I mean, I said I liked butter. Okay, so while that is mixing, we are going to do 1 tablespoon, correction, teaspoon, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla. Fill it all the way up, right in there. Tap it. Then we're going to go to 1/4 teaspoon, 1/4, and we're going to go back with our almond extract here. That way we get all the flavors in the frosting too. Now we're just gonna let this mix up for 3 to 4 minutes, and then we're gonna start with our sugar. Once it looks completely smooth, then we're gonna put this on low and add a whole box of confectionery sugar. A whole box. Tessa's looking at me like I'm crazy. Put a whole box on slow, so you don't make a mess. Easy goes it with this, guys. I mean, patience is key. You can already see that it's turning into frosting. I never realized frosting was really this easy to make until I started having to make these baking videos. Because before this, I would always just have frosting out of like the can. But now it's super easy and it's not that expensive. Okay, so our cake is out of the oven. It has had time to cool while we were making the frosting, and we just leveled both cakes and we put it on this lovely baking sheet, and my mom helped me frost the middle, and we are gonna go about frosting the entire cake now. So we're just gonna take a huge blob of this frosting, and just like that, I'm actually gonna get another blob. I'm gonna go in with 2 blobs. Here we go. And now take your froster knife. I don't know the politically correct name for this knife. And just work the frosting around. Be gentle so your cake doesn't fall off the cake. It's on. And just lightly move this frosting towards the side of your. This is definitely the most tedious part of the job here, but also the most fun. This is where you can really get creative, and don't worry too much if you get cake crumbs on your frosting, because we will be decorating this cake. So if the frosting isn't perfect, that is okie dokie with us. Okay, so you want to roughly frost your cake, which is what we did. Make sure you have a good layer of cake on the top and just a solid layer on the sides, because we are going to go in with our white coconut to kind of cover the sides. So this is a good recipe if you're not the best froster, aka me. So to do this, you're just kind of going to want to make sure the coconut is flat on your palm, and then just kind of high five the cake. So boom, just like that, give it a solid high five, go back in and just go all around the cake, giving it high fives for days. So if you love this cake so much you want to make it again around the holidays, this actually is a great winter cake too. Because the coconut can look like snow and you can decorate it like a little ski mountain, and it can get really cute. You can dye the snow like blues and purples and make it look like icicles. Making the coconut really festive. In this case, we'll dye it eventually green so that it looks like grass for spring. So speaking of green coconut, my director took it upon herself. She wanted to get a little artsy, and she already made the green grass for us. So what it is just a few drops of food dye, green food dye, into a Ziploc bag of coconut, and there you go, you have grass. So I'm just gonna put this around the top of the cake. This is definitely for people that love cream cheese frosting, who love coconut and just light spring colors. It's not a heavy cake. The cake batter is not heavy. It's really light, tastes really good with coffee. I think I'm gonna leave a section open at the top. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm gonna go like this. Leave it, but I am going to put some down at the base. Okay, so here I have a plate full of treats that I picked up from our local supermarket. You can get these at Walmart. I bet you can get them off Amazon. If we can find them, we'll link them below. But we got two main characters, our bunnies, little sub-characters, little chocolates, and then definitely some eggs. I think the eggs are such a cute part of this. So I'm just going to decorate it. I'm going to face it towards you guys so you can see where we're going with this. We're going to go in with the bunnies at the back. Okay, so we got that. I got to give them little Easter eggs. I mean, maybe they're Easter bunnies. Maybe they're the Easter bunny's cousin. We don't know the backstory. But they need some Easter eggs for sure. I mean, you could even line this whole bottom of the cake with eggs if you really wanted to go for it. And these are just the regular eggs you can find anywhere. Okay, so now the cake's done. We're gonna get it in the freezer so it doesn't melt, and hopefully it will look good for Easter. I hope you guys like this video. Leave a comment down below if you want more baking videos and what you'd like us to bake up for May. And we'll see you over on the Instagram for more pictures of this cake. See you next time.